In this slide we will talk about layer 2 switch ports. So we have two categories of switch ports, layer 2 switch ports. First is called access port and the second is called trunk port. So access port is the default behavior of the port or the default port mode on all the switches. It means the access port carries one VLAN data and the member of a VLAN. So access port will be always the member of a VLAN. Next is it is associated to a VLAN. Yes, by default it is associated to VLAN 1 in switches. The second port type is called trunk switch port. The trunk switch port is not member of any VLAN. It carries multiple VLANs data. So here is the example. If you see the port where we have configured the VLAN is one port, second and third. So these ports where the end devices are connected, they must be the access port. Access and access and access. It means they are member of these VLANs. This is also access. Here also you can see access port, access port, access port and access port. There may be any other device as well. There may be router, but the port will be access, and this router may be member of any other VLAN like VLAN 20. So it means you configure these ports and assign these ports to a VLAN, and they will be called access switch port. The trunk switch port's responsibility is to carry these VLANs data from one switch to another switch. So if I say I want to send data from VLAN 1 to VLAN 1, so what I need is a separate physical cable between these VLANs, or here I can make connection to make communication between these. So here let me clear this. Then from VLAN 10 I need one cable. Okay, VLAN 1 I need one cable. For VLAN 2 I need another cable. Here we go. VLAN 3 again we go another cable. So we need total 3 cables to make and keep the connections separate. Now assume you have 100 VLANs. You cannot use 100 ports for sending your data separately and using a separate cable. So it will create a mesh here. So to reduce the mesh and reduce the cost, we came with the concept called trunk, where only one port will be responsible for taking care of all VLANs data. So VLAN 1 data can travel through this link. Okay, VLAN 2 data, yes, VLAN 3 data over the same link. And how it is being forwarded here, it is totally depends on the types of protocols we use. So trunk port uses two types of protocols. First is called IEEE 802.1q. Second is called ISL, which is Cisco proprietary protocol. So whenever you have two switches and you configure a trunk port, there will be a protocol, one of these protocols. So most of the switches, they have the default protocol is IEEE, which is very popular, and ISL is being removed because of the extra overhead. We will talk about and we will compare these two protocols in next slide. Why do we use IEEE instead using ISL? Okay, so the trunk port is most important port in the LAN network, and it can give a lot of benefits and it can reduce your network infrastructure cost. Now trunking operation, how the trunking operation can be done here. As I told, there are two protocols. One is IEEE 802.1q and second is ISL. So one of the ISL uses kind of encapsulation method, and the IEEE uses a kind of tag mechanism to forward the data. So for an example, the VLAN 1 is sending data. This switch is going to insert a kind of tag value here like this. So this is our data. All devices, they are sending information. The tag value will be like VLAN 1, VLAN 2 and VLAN 3. So one side device is going to insert the tag or encapsulate the data, another side the reverse process, decapsulate or remove the tag and send it to appropriate VLAN. This is how the trunking operation works.